Hi again, Mark here from Talkingbass. So I first want to wish you all happy holidays after a pretty grim 2020. Hopefully 2021 is going to be a big improvement for us all, and to celebrate I'm going to give you a fairly straightforward solo bass arrangement of the Christmas song Silent Night that you can work on over the holiday period. So this piece uses a lot of open strings and double stops, and it sounds like this. As always, the lesson material can be found over at Talkingbass. Just click the link in the card or in the info below to play along, and while you're there, be sure to check out the lesson map where you'll find over 350 free lessons on every aspect of bass playing, all organised and categorised for ease of navigation. Then, if that floats your boat, be sure to sign up to the free membership to gain access to a ton of extra free content in the practice room. You'll be able to work through the 25 Bass Groove Challenge and download a bunch of free ebooks like the Scale Reference Manual ebook. Like I said, it's all free, so sign up today and go check it out. Okay, so let's have a look at Silent Night. So it's a solo piece where we're playing the melody and the harmony both at the same time, but because it's a fairly straightforward song in terms of the harmony, we can get through it with just the three chords. I've put it in the key of A major, which gives us the three chords A major, D major, and E major, okay? Which means we can use the open strings as our root notes. So when we're on A, we can use the open A. When we're on an E, we can use the E. And when we're on the D, we can use the open D. So the song's in 3/4, so we're counting 1, 2, 3. And the intro sounds like this. Okay, so we've just got open A string there, and then this little major third. So we've got this, we're outlining the A major chord. So we've got the A at the 7th fret of the D string, and then the C sharp up at the 6th fret of the G string. Okay, so that's our chord there. So you want to hold that down, second finger and first finger there. So I'm using a kind of claw finger technique here. So we're using the thumb, the first and the third finger, like this, and I'm just playing it like that. So we've got the thumb, first and third, second fingers. Just try to get that chord first of all. Okay, so we play the chord, and then we just play thumb, first finger, second finger, and back. Okay. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and. Okay, and we're going to be using that that kind of rhythm there with that finger picking pattern pretty much throughout. There's a few little exceptions, but if you can get used to that little pattern, it makes the rest of the piece a little bit easier. So now we have the melody. So we'll look at this in chunks. So the first part sounds like this. Okay, so again we're on an A major chord, and we're outlining it again here with these notes C sharp and E. So we're taking the 3rd and the 5th of the chord there. So we've got the C sharp at the 11th fret of the D string and the E at the 9th fret of the G string. And we're playing the open A string along with it. And you can use the first and the second fingers there. I'm doing that because then I'm going to be playing that little F sharp on the top. So first and second fingers there. Then we play the F sharp at the 11th fret of the G string. Then we play the open A string. You can put that in there afterwards. So we play the chord. So chord, thumb, and then F sharp, pull off to the E. So we keep that little chord held down, that little double stop up there. We pick the F sharp at the 11th fret of the G string, and then just pull it off to get back to the E that's already there. So, sorry. Then hit the open A again. Then we come back down to our original little A double stop there, 7th fret D string, 6th fret on the G string. Okay, and then which is pretty much the same as the opening. So that's the bar that we had at the beginning. Okay, so. And that's the first 2 bars. So we play that twice, so. Then we jump up to this. Okay, so we have the open E string, so we're on the E major chord, and then we're playing the 3rd and the 5th again up here. So we've got the G sharp and the B. So G sharp, which is what, the 18th fret of the D string, and then the B, which is at the 16th fret of the G string. Okay, so now what I do here to cut off that open A string so that we don't get the residual noise is I actually hold down an E major triad there. So I actually put the 3rd finger there on the E, which is at the 19th fret of the A string, but I don't play it. Okay, so it just keeps it quiet. Okay, so I'm just in terms of plucking, I'm just plucking with the thumb, 1st and 2nd fingers on the E, D, and G strings. I'm just holding down that 3rd finger on the A string. So we play the chord, then we come up and back, so thumb, 1st finger, 2nd finger, 1st finger and back. Then we drop down to the little major 3rd there on an E, so 14th fret of the D string and 13th fret of the G string, the 2nd and 1st fingers there. So this is very similar to what we've got. Okay, so we're just moving it down there. Okay, so. Again, you can arpeggiate that, so thumb, 1st finger, 2nd finger and back, so E, D, G string, you know, like that. So. Then after that part, we have this. Okay, so this time we're playing in the melody. We've got the A there at the 14th fret of the G string, and I'm holding down the C sharp at the 11th fret of the D string. Okay, so that's our double stop, and that's with the open A string. So in all of these points, we're playing different, I'd say, inversions of A major, but they're not really. We're just playing it starting on different different notes, different voicings of it. So that's what we got this time. So and then down to the one starting on the C sharp. So that chord there with the C sharp and the A, and then we drop down to this one again, so C sharp and the E, so 11th fret D string and the 9th fret on the G string. So again from the top. Okay, so let's just slowly work through what we have there. So straight into the melody we had. Next up, we've got this cool little move here of. Okay, so the voicing here is a little bit odd because I wanted to get a little double stop in here, but we've got the open D string to contend with. We start there with the melody note of F sharp at the 11th fret of the G string, held with the 1st finger. We're going to play the A there at the 12th fret of the A string, but then in between we've got that low D. Okay, it's the open D. So it's kind of odd in that the middle note of the voicing, in terms of physically, is actually the lowest note in the chord. Okay, so we're playing that, all those 3 notes together. Okay, and then we just arpeggiate across. So then we have. So we have the melody note up there of A at the 14th fret of the G string, and again we're keeping the open D string droning throughout this, and then we're taking the C sharp there at the 16th fret of the A string. Okay, so that's the next chord. Okay, so I'm using the 1st and 2nd fingers there. So then then coming down to the G sharp note there at the 13th fret of the G string, and the B at the 14th fret of the A string. So, and then back to where we started from with the F sharp up at the top there, 11th fret of the G string, and the A at the 12th fret of the A string. So, like I said, the open D string runs throughout this. So, okay. Then to finish off that phrase, we have pretty much exactly the same phrase that we had at the start. Okay, so that was the first phrase that we played. So that just finishes off there. So. Then we repeat all of that. For the next phrase, we have this. Okay, so we're on an E here, so I'm playing the open E string, and again I'm holding down this E major triad there, so I'm holding down the E at the 19th fret of the A string, but I'm not playing it again, so it's just a muted. So we've got the open E, and then we've got the G sharp and the B there, so that's the, what's that, the 18th fret, is that the 18th fret? Yeah, 18th fret of the D string and the 16th fret of the G string. I never know the fret numbers on these things, I just know the notes. So play the chord, clunk, and then play up and down. So then we move up to the D there at the 19th fret of the G string, while keeping that G sharp there at the 18th fret of the D string, and the open E. So we've got this dominant 7 chord there. So. And then we come down, so, sorry. So after you've played the D up at the top, you can play the B again at the 16th fret of the G string, and then we go down to this little major third there, so E and G sharp, so that's the 14th fret of the D string and the 13th fret of the G string, so, sorry. Okay. The next phrase sounds like this. Okay, so once again we've got the A major, open A string, C sharp and A, 11th fret D string and 14th fret on the G string. Then arpeggiate it, so. And then we move up to this high little A major third up here. So that's the 19th fret of the D string and the 18th fret of the G string, A and a C sharp. So you can slide up to that if you want in some way. Okay, so. And then you just arpeggiate again. So hold down the block chord and then arpeggio. Then finally we have the following. Okay, so we move back down to this A major again with the A in the melody. So we've got the 14th fret of the G string and the 11th fret of the D string. So we've got the whole thing there with the open A string. And then we move down to E, down to the C sharp there. So 9th fret of the G string and 11th fret of the D string. So after you've played the block chord there, you can hit the open A string again just to fill in the gap, and then, so. Okay, and then we move down to, so now we're moving down to the E, and instead of playing with the open E here, just because it can be a little bit odd when we're doing this and you don't want to get it too muddy, I'm actually going to play the E at the 7th fret of the A string. So we're playing this little E major voicing here of E, G sharp, and then the E. So it's the root note, the third, and the octave. So we've got 7th fret A string, 6th fret on the D string, and 9th fret up on the G string. And then you come down with the melody, the D, 7th fret of the G string, and then the B at the 9th fret of the D string. So we keep that E held down throughout. So. And then we're back to the beginning with our little intro. Okay, so let's just take that again. So, and whatever rhythm you want to use for that, so you can have. or you could have, either way. But you have to keep that E held down, so it just means moving the fingers around a little bit. So it's good for your finger independence. So. Okay. So that's the whole thing. So let's just put all of that together very slowly. So we have. So in terms of practicing this, it's just a case of working through it in those phrases and getting them down one at a time. Now, if you've never played, any kind of chordal things on bass before or any solo pieces, then, it might not be that easy. But if you do have a little bit of facility in terms of chords, then it probably won't be too bad. You should be able to get it down because there's not really that many chords in here. We've got this one down here, and I suppose you could count that as one. But really, it's all about double stops. And when I say double stop, I just mean two notes played at the same time. Okay, so that's a double stop. Okay, so it is a chord in effect, but we call it a double stop. So even here, even that's a double stop. So take it in small chunks. When you start out, just try practicing that intro. Get you used to having your fingers down, and then just try that round and round. Okay, take it in small chunks, then add another section, and gradually build up that way. Okay, so that's Silent Night. So remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Then go to check out the Talkingbass website for all those extra free goodies. Then, if you want to take your playing to the next level, remember we have premium courses on all aspects of bass playing. There are courses on reading, chord tones, scales, technique, everything, as well as the popular beginner bass programs. So happy holidays from Talkingbass, and I'll see you next week.